It's the end of the week, and guess what, Michael?
What?
It's Friday, you bastards!
The internet brings comic fans around the world into one comic book community. Comic creators and comic fans, tonight you are seen, heard, recognized. Because comics are for everyone. Live from Miami, Florida, broadcasting around the world, this is the Not Near Mint Show.
So welcome to the Not Near Mint Show, everybody. It's the end of the week. It's Friday. It's the first week of May. How you doing, Michael?
I'm doing great. How you doing, Rob?
All right. I can't complain. You might have noticed at the beginning of the show for our banner, I took off the 18 and over because maybe that's why people sometimes go, hey, we don't want the kids to watch this. It's comic book stuff. Do you know anybody that buys comics for young kids? It's not very normal. It's, hey, there's a new Spidey and Friends coming out that's geared towards middle-aged readers.
Well, we don't have Miracleman on, so it's going to be G-rated this week, so that's good.
Yeah, and in fact, I'm going to be putting down here at the bottom here, there's going to be a banner where you're going to see a comic book locator. So anybody out there that is out in regular comic book land in rural America and they want to go, well, free stuff? I love free stuff. Free is my favorite word. So how do I get these free things? Well, down here, you'll notice there is something called a comic book locator. And from that, I'm going to share my screen here and you can see what I am talking about. So this is how you can find a comic book shop in your area, comic book locator. And let's bring this up. So right here, if you put your zip code, and for example, here's mine, I punch that in, hit go, and it will bring up a list of different comic book shops that are in my area. And there might even be a few that you're not even aware of. So punch that in, give them a call, find out if they're participating first before driving out there only to go, yeah, it costs us money to order comic book stuff. So that's one way of discovering that. And there's also a bunch of stuff that is coming out tomorrow. 45 comics in all. We even have Bleeding Cool that has reported on all of them. I will drop that link in the chat. So if anybody wanted to go and find that, they can. So right there, it is in the chat.
Do you have a top 5? Do you have a top 5 you'd recommend people picking up tomorrow?
Well, that's a funny thing. It's going to be right at the back of my top 10, but right down here, you can click that link or go straight to Bleeding Cool. It has all of the books that are coming out. There's even a few that were junked because tariffs have started and we're not expecting things to be very cheap for people. So here is the list of all those books that are coming out tomorrow. And as you see, there are a lot of them.
Need my glasses for this.
Especially since I go pretty fast. Whoa. So these are all the 45 free comic book day titles for 2025. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of them. So you see, it starts with Archie, Young Jedi, VR Troopers.
Nice.
And if you're going to these shops, don't think that everything is free. I mean, Fantastic Four 48 first appearance of Silver Surfer is not free. If it has 10 cents or 12 cents on it, you're going to be paying a premium. If you see $2.95, well, those were the old day prices. Now everything's $3.99 and up. Just ask Todd McFarlane. Even the Spawn titles have gone from $2.99 to $3.99 now. But these are all the ones that will be out, including I Hate Fairyland, that's now gone past 40 issues in 2 separate volumes. Wow. There's Speed Racer that our buddy David Pepos is going to be doing, along with Mark Russell. We also have Fantastic Four, Amazing Spider-Man. I got those 2. There's a Gargoyles Demona, and this is a preview for a book that Mark Spears will be doing a cover for later on, I believe next month or the month after. There's a Fantastic Four Giant Size X-Men 1 that's adding in Kamala Khan.
Wait, you said you got it. How could you get it already? That's impossible.
Oh, well, I have a shop that goes, yeah, I don't care. If it'll help, if you're showing it on the show and you're not reading it because you don't have time, fine. It's not like I'm going to get in trouble. But yeah, if it can help bring one or two more people to the shop or shops around the country, do what you can. So this is what I'm doing, trying to bring people out.
Wow.
So here's more books. I mean, anybody that's reading Conan, you're going to want that. Minecraft, I'm sorry, the movie only got like 50% positive on Rotten Tomatoes.
I saw it. If you're a Minecraft fan and you don't, if you like, you got a sense of whimsy, it was a fun movie. It's definitely not plot driven. It's not logic driven, but yeah, if you like the game and you have some kids who like the game, you'll have a good time.
Better than Five Nights at Freddy's?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
what we needed to know. I mean, sometimes it feels like movies or the people that are making them are making them for an audience that they don't quite understand themselves.
No, there were a lot of great in jokes. They obviously respected the game. I appreciate there was humor for my level that I don't think the younger audience enjoyed as much as I did, but I really enjoyed it. It was kind of, I could see Jack Black's humor kind of peeking through sometime. I had a fun time with it, but definitely, yeah, I would never say it's a classic movie, or if you don't know Minecraft at all, it probably wouldn't work for you. But if you have a passing fancy, but especially the kids in the audience just loved it. The ones who knew about Minecraft, they really enjoyed it.
Okay, so it's like Captain America, the latest movie, where we're not expecting Citizen Kane, but it's a perfectly good time killer on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, for sure.
And here we have a Monsters, Mark Spears Monsters, that is an issue 0. And I was not aware of this until this very moment. I was this many days old until I learned this exists and is coming out tomorrow. So make sure to pick that one up. $0.00. And I imagine similar to a little while back we had Umbrella Academy, which was their first appearance, blew up to $50. There's the One Punch Man that blew up to $50. Nothing surprising anymore. I know
what Will Eisner. What's the Will Eisner one? That's intriguing.
Well, if it's Will Eisner, I have to get it because I took one of his classes when I was a young kid.
Oh, really? Oh, that's
yep.
amazing.
Oh, let's get rid of that advertisement. So yeah, I'll pick that up tomorrow. I might have to hit like 2 or 3 shops just to get everything, because every shop is not going to give you all 45 books.
Yes.
You'll be lucky if you get 3, maybe 5. You might get to chance to choose, or maybe not. And I hope I am still live because it looks like my internet's a little bit wonky right now.
I can see you.
All right. So those are the books coming out, and let's see if I can get myself back to normal here. Uh-oh.
Are we frozen on YouTube? Should I check YouTube?
Let's just get this off because I can't hear anything, and I'm guessing he's probably talking to me.
Oh, yeah. I can hear you. Oh, I'm alone. Well, it's a good time for me to talk about, let's see. I can talk about Sinners. That's another movie I saw with Michael B. Jordan. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry about that. I was talking, and then I looked at the screen and realized everything is just thinking, so nobody's probably listening to a word I say.
No, I could still hear you, but I guess you couldn't hear me.
I couldn't hear anything. Well, that's just my regular Friday now. So what were you saying? And then I guess we'll just jump into top 10.
I just also gave a recommendation for Sinners. It's a new movie that came out with Michael B. Jordan. Really loved it. The person I was with, not so much. She didn't realize it was going to turn into a vampire flick halfway through. I guess that's a bit of a spoiler, but I think it is good to know going in, because I think it's a bit jarring because you're kind of watching. It's a wonderful movie for the first half without the vampires. You're seeing kind of old time.
It looks like a 1930s period piece, and then all of a sudden vampires.
Yeah. And I think both halves worked. I love the first part with kind of gangsters and doing a speakeasy, I guess, with a legal kind of a gin joint. And they're putting on a big party, kind of illegally, I guess, during Prohibition. Oh, I'm alone again. And then it turns into a vampire flick, which was equally fun. But yeah, it was really great acting, really well done. There's some musical numbers, so that can be jarring for some people too, but I love them too. So yeah, overall, Sinners, thumbs up.
There's musical numbers.
Yeah. There's like it's nicely woven in because they're in a gin joint. So basically there's musical entertainment. There is a weird I'll just kind of warn you. One of the things is the music can transcend us and it can have mystic powers. So actually one of the musicians is so powerful, he's drawing the vampires towards the gin joint because his music playing is so good. But he also, while he's playing, it kind of becomes a fusion of music throughout the ages. So you get some 70s, some 80s, some 90s, all kind of fusing for that moment, kind of in a mystic hallucination period. So that's again a little jarring for people who aren't expecting it. Like, well, what's happening here? Why is this happening? It's only one little musical number through, but it's really powerful and really interesting to me.
So he plays music to vampires and uses it like the Pied Piper. I have one question, and if he didn't do this, Michael B. or the director Coogler, it's a missed opportunity. Was that person playing the instrument of the saxophone, and was he topless?
No. Is that from a music video?
It's from The Lost Boys.
Oh, wow, okay.
With the whole movie, you remember like 2 scenes. You remember, how do you like your maggots, Michael? What? You're eating maggots. And the other scene is the guy playing the saxophone in the middle of this big festival. And only 2 scenes I remember from the movie.
I remember that's the first time I heard People Are Strange by The Doors, because that's the intro song to the movie. People are strange when you're a stranger, because they're going to a new town. But yeah, so Sinners, very much recommend it. Loved it. Again, if you're looking for a straightforward movie, it'll throw you. Right beside me, the movie theater was Accountant 2, if you know anything about it. That would have been for straightforward people. If you want a good action flick that has people shooting people up, but I didn't want it that night. I wanted something interesting, something a little bit different, and Sinners is really that. So yeah, a really new and different movie. I really liked it.
Out of anything I want to see this weekend, Sinners is actually a little more on top than Thunderbolts, and Thunderbolts got some really good reviews. We'll talk about it later. But yeah, Sinners is absolutely something I got to go see. Considering this is the guy that did Black Panther, did a comic book movie, and if he didn't do that comic book movie, he couldn't do this movie the way that he wanted. Getting the experience from working with all those really, really famous actors, all of which might have competing diva syndromes, and get them to do what he wants on a very large budget. This is his vision, and I can't imagine anything else that I'd want to see this weekend more than that, even Thunderbolts.
Yeah, Michael B. Jordan was amazing. He plays twins. And if you like Michael B. Jordan, you'll like 2 Michael B. Jordans for sure. Haley Steinfeld is great in it. And there's this guy, don't know his name, but he's the main musician. He plays the blues on his guitar. I think it's his first movie. He's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing that it's his first movie. He almost stole the show for me. He was so interesting to watch. And yeah, but everybody was great in it. So wonderful movie from top to bottom. Highly recommended it. That's my movie review.
Looks like that's going to be the movie. That's going to be the movie I wind up watching this weekend. I'll report back next week. And also I'll watch Thunderbolts this weekend, so that way I can report back next week. So here we go. These are the top 10 comics for this past week, the first week of May, 2025. And again, this top 10 is based off of, and funny thing, it feels like I just rolled over to 27,000 just a few months ago. I'm about 6 books away from rolling over to 28,000. This is an addiction. It's not quite a hobby. I mean, it can be a hobby if you don't put all your time into it, but if you put all your free time into it, it's an addiction. So that's basically where we're at. So off my 28,000 nearly comics behind me here, some of my mutants in my bedroom, I have way too much of this stuff. I hit the value update because I also have CLZ tagged on with CovrPrice. And if you're paying for both, have a paid subscription, have an approximate grade, it'll spit out a list of what was bought and somebody paid for over that week. And there's some wild value sways. The market's down. We're expecting some weird stuff. And here we go. So we start off with the bottom 5, and the bottom 5 are going to be the ones that crashed, the ones that went down the most. So here we go. Starting off with number 10. This is the first appearance of Phoenix in Uncanny X-Men number 101. First full appearance of Black Tom Cassidy. Came out in 1976. This dropped this week substantially, losing a third of its value. In a fine, very fine 7.0 raw, somebody paid $278, down $172. Now, Lady Fantastic, once put this on layaway. She got it, and had she just waited a little bit longer, just like how Michael here is chewing on his popcorn, because it's always fun watching things just tank in the media. So yeah, if you just would have waited, if you pay attention to me over on Blue Sky, what I wind up doing is on Sunday, I post these books and I give a little bit longer of a review as to why they're going up, why they're going down. Sundays is when I release this stuff. So you'll be able to check that out over on Not Near Mint at bluesky.social, and that's where you'll be able to see these posts on Sunday. So back to number 10 here. Yeah, I mean, we're not expecting Phoenix to be coming into any MCU movies anytime soon, but maybe people are paying a little less for that, or it's just that there are that many copies, and when people have lost jobs through the Doge bags that have been cleaning out a lot of positions in government, people can't afford their houses by saying, hey, I'll pay my rent in the first appearance of Phoenix. Like, no, sir, we're going to need money. So people are selling their books because you can't. Hi, Brian LCS, evening. So you can't pay rent with comics, but you can sell them to make some money so you can eat and pay your rent or mortgage or what have you. And that's why we're seeing a lot of these things tank. Speaking of which, here's another one that tanked, and I'm really surprised. This is Something is Killing the Children, issue 5. This is the B cover. This is not one of the ratio variants or anything, but it is. The Warner Del Adra variant is the first full appearance of the Oscura type, first cameo of the Old Dragon and Cecilia Slaughter, and it's the first appearance of the Order of St. George, which is the House of Slaughter. This is a big book. Now, came out in 2020, near mint condition. You could have gotten it the day of release for cover price. It went all the way up to over $100. The cover A is easily a $200 plus book or up. This, somebody paid this week, near mint raw, $20. It lost $80. So a little reminder for anybody that's a huge fan of Something is Killing the Children, some of the lowest prints are issue 1, I believe it's the 6th print, where it looks like they're out in the snow and there's footprints. There's an issue 3 that has like 800 copies for one of their later prints. Maybe now's the time to be looking for this stuff, because wow, what a drop. So that's number 9. Here we go. Number 8. Here's another one that's a little bit shocking, considering that the new universe of Ultimate Spider-Man is just knocking it out of the park week in, week out. Most recent issue, we just had Mysterio revealed. I'm not going to reveal who that is because I haven't read it yet. But I could probably look up some spoilers, much like, why the asterisk on Thunderbolts is what it is. Go watch the movie. I already know. Don't go online to social media. Everything gets leaked. So this is the first issue of Ultimate Spider-Man. This is what began everything for the Ultimate Universe. It was written by Brian Michael Bendis and Mark Bagley doing the art, and it's amazing. It was great. You don't even see Spider-Man as Spider-Man until issue 5 or 6, I believe. And in issue 12 or 13, I'm a little off. It's been 25 years since I read this. It has one of the greatest single issues of Spider-Man ever, where it's just young Peter Parker sitting down on the bed with Mary Jane. No, none of that weird stuff. Although Aunt May does walk in going, I hope you're using protection. Jesus Christ, Aunt May. No, it wasn't that. It was Spider-Man coming out as, I'm Spider-Man. And she laughs until he jumps onto the ceiling, and it's just a great moment. And he doesn't appear in costume once, and it was a great issue. But this has dropped. It's a great storyline, runs about 130, 160 issues or so, and then goes into other volumes. He's the guy that, if they kill off this Peter Parker so we can get Miles Morales. This is the Peter Parker that dies here, folks. Well, in any case, came out in 2000, 25 years ago. God, we're old. $21. You can get this for $21. Maybe $30. But it's down $31. So an easy book to get right now if you're into that Ultimate Universe stuff. Now, the next one is another shocker, because this is a big, big book, folks. Detective Comics number 880. This is the iconic jock cover of the Joker with all the bats. Very cool looking. They've done several different homages over the years, and this thing here came out back in 2011 in a near mint copy raw. Somebody paid $113. This was edging up close to 200 or more during the early parts of the pandemic, but it's coming back down. It's not like a super duper rare or anything. It's just it's a pretty cover. And you'll see another pretty cover, and that one has gone up this week. But remember, pretty covers are not exactly keys. They look cool, like, Hulk 340, cool looking cover. No first appearance. No, like first origin. Hey, his name is Logan here. Hey, his name is James Howlett here. None of that. It's just another Hulk versus Wolverine fight. Well, this is just a Joker cover. That's all it is. Nothing more, nothing less. $113. If you've been looking for it, you might be able to get it a little bit cheaper. Now, number 6, we're having a Superman movie coming out pretty soon. This is the first cameo appearance of Real Docs II. This is another iteration of our boy here, Brainiac. Love Brainiac, but this is also the origin of Brainiac. This is kind of a bigger book, but it's not his first appearance. And again, DC Comics traditionally are just on the low end. They're always undervalued, no matter what. Unless it's Golden Age, then you're paying like more than what your car is worth for shit tier grade. So this book here came out in 1964 and in a VG Fine Raw 5.0, $25 for a big book. You can get this, or you can be getting stuff like, Journey into Mystery early issues, or newer issues. It's $25. That's cheap. That's like nothing. Well, those were the ones that went down. Now here are the ones that went up. Now, this is my weird ass looking cover of Incredible Hulk issue 6. This is the one that I got from, I think it was Barbarian Kung Fu, where he was told that he showed this to Jim Lee saying, hey, somebody laminated the cover and stuck it back on. And Jim says, yeah, no, you got to leave it like that. That is a great example of what people used to do to comics. So this is an outlier. I can't really call this restored. I guess this is more, I don't know, conserved? I have no idea. In any case, I put this in as a GVG, which is a 5.0 raw. 1963, this came out. Somebody paid $855. It is up 34. Which isn't a lot, but it is the first appearance of the Teen Brigade and the first appearance of the Metal Master, both of which don't matter. Also, this is the final issue of The Incredible Hulk when they canceled it, and then he pops up here and there in Tales to Astonish. Well, that's number 5, and it only went up $34. And number 4 is tied, because it also went up $34, but it's a higher price book. It is just a pretty cover. It's the iconic J. Scott Campbell cover to Amazing Spider-Man 601, the one where we remember how impossible any woman that exists as a living human being can pose like that. Even had other people that tried to recreate it. He even recreated it for an Ultimate Spider-Man number 4 or 5. It was I guess retailer only exclusive, and they redid it, and it's really pretty looking. Well, in any case, this thing has gone up again, near mint. Came out in 2009, $148. This is not rare. This is just one of those. It's a pretty cover by an artist that people like, and people are overpaying. If you look long enough, I'm sure you could probably get it for much, much, much less. But let's face it, once people know that it's up, they will not let it go for less. That's just the way people work. Number 3, we have Journey into Mystery number 112. This is the first battle of Hulk versus Thor. It's also the first appearance of King Laufey of the Frost Giants and the origin of Loki. So this is another one of those big books that has been pretty down for a while. And let's face it, most of the Journey into Mystery books have been down for some time. So it's no surprise that it's gone up a bit. This isn't a high grade. This is at like 3.0. So raw GVG, that comes to $153. It went up 39. It's not a lot, but it's gone up. This used to be a $300 plus book during the pandemic. And then post-pandemic, the last year or so, you could have found this for $100, maybe even less. Next is number 2. This is a much bigger book. We don't have any mention whether or not this is coming as a movie, as a TV character. It's just the first appearance of Dead Man. It's always been a big book. It's pretty. It's Neil Adams. But here we go, 1967 in a VG plus, $272. And again, people are putting their books up because you can't pay rent with a comic book. You can't eat a comic book, but you can pay your bills and everything by selling the bigger books. So yeah, $272, up 65, but if you wait, I'm sure you can find it. And now the number one book, it's up, it's down. It's either Giant Size X-Men 1 or is X-Men 94. This book will probably be back on the list several more times this year. Hey, Fish Cat, good to see you. Let me make you a moderator. It's been a little while here. You are now a standard moderator. Congratulations. I know that's like winning the lottery of diarrhea. So number one, X-Men 94 is the second team appearance of the new X-Men, first new X-Men in their own title after 27 issues of reprints, which was issues 67 through 93. And it's the first time Chris Claremont wrote the X-Men, because Giant Size X-Men is not written by Claremont, but this is right after he finishes up doing work on, stuff like Iron Fist, random issues, or Daredevil random ass issues, like right around the time that you have Moondog, or what was her name? Moonslayer? It was, oh my God, I'm forgetting her name now. This is what happens when you're up since 3 o'clock in the morning. I've been to
Moondragon? No.
Moondragon, yes, thank you.
Okay.
What was her original name? It was like Star Slayer or something. It was a wacky ass name.
No, I didn't know.
She first appears in Iron Man number 54, the issue right before Thanos, but she has a completely different name, and it was 105 where they changed the name, and then right after that, hey, here's Chris Claremont on Daredevil that nobody remembers anymore. But in any case, this list here, it's representative of the fact that if you can't find it cheap now, just wait 6 weeks. If it's still up there, wait 6 months. And after 6 months, if it's still expensive, just buy the damn thing, because it's not coming back down. That's just the way it was. Hey, Dex, how you doing? I'll make you a moderator. I know it's like winning the diarrhea lottery around here.
Stop
Even
saying
Fish Cat goes, what?
Stop saying diarrhea.
You people are nuts. Oh, actually, I do have a few more things to show you here. Let me just put that camera right back, because, again, this weekend is Free Comic Book Day weekend, and these are some of the books that I picked up. So this one here is the Free Comic Book Day Amazing Spider-Man with the Ultimate Universe, because we're going to be seeing Miles conjoin with the newer Ultimate Universe after he was rescued from the old Ultimate Universe. And if that gives you a headache, well, good, because welcome to comics. Next up, we have the Fantastic Four. This is Free Comic Day Giant Size X-Men. I think there's some first appearances in here, but don't take my word for it. Pick one up yourself to discover whether or not it is, because I have not had the chance to read this yet. I haven't had the chance to read anything yet. I've been in Key West for the last 3 days, driving back and forth and back and forth. So if I sound a little bit crazy, here's a little secret.
He is.
I am. All right, back to the comics, because we're all about the comics here. So after Fantastic Four, I also picked up Gundam Wing, and it's a little weird that they're putting out Gundam Wing when you have Gundam, or I don't know how to pronounce it. It's G, a string of U's, and a larger case X. I don't get it. But I always loved Hiro Yui, and the soundtrack is forever in my mind. And then we have Planet Death. I've heard that this is now the most printed comic of all time.
Really?
That could be wrong. I guess there's more than there are of X-Force #1. They're selling this for like $1.90, but I guess this might have been put out on Free Comic Day. Some people are putting it out for free. But Bad Idea, and Bad Idea is known for, hey, you can only sell this at certain stores, and if you do it the wrong way, we're going to pull our book. So I never thought I'd get a Bad Idea book, and I was frankly okay with that, because they're all about manufactured scarcity. And it's the difference of, hey, do you have that Journey into Mystery 84, the first appearance of Jane Foster, that's actually rare because a lot of people threw them away, or something that, well, we're just going to manufacture a limited amount and distribute it at a certain amount of stores to manufacture rarity. I call bullshit and I don't like it. And the last one, Tamagotchi Paradise. I mean, I'm probably going to give this away during Halloween time, but what would it surprise me if one day somebody goes, hey, guess what? This is now a $200 book. Wait, what?
That would surprise me.
At this point, nothing does anymore.
That would...
I mean, let's put it this way. When we see things that are like with bands, like there was that White Stripes cover and the Beatles covers to comic books, and you'll see like Batman, $150, $500 for the Beatles issue. Why? There's more fans of musicians, of artists, of singers than there are of regular comic fans. Like the Eminem issue to Amazing Spider-Man. There's a lot more Eminem fans than there are the typical comic fans. So there could be some Tamagotchi kids from way back when going, hey, you know what? I'm going to try and get this. And then it just gets all sucked up. And now, hey, why is this a $50 book? Hey, why is this an $80 book? Always question everything and just wait. Everything drops and everything is FOMO eventually. There is nothing so rare that is not Golden Age that you can't just wait it out.
I would also say get it because it speaks to you. Don't get it because it speaks to other people.
Yeah, listen to Michael. Michael of the North knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
All right, so those were the books that were the top 10, some of the free comic book day stuff. And again, check out the comic shop locator so you can find a shop near you so you can pick up some free books. So, Mike, did you pick up anything this week? Because I sure as hell didn't, because I had to pay taxes and I hate the government.
Oh, I paid taxes, but I still set aside some money. And also I pre-ordered some stuff. So it's an original graphic novel. No, wrong. It's not an original graphic novel. I'm doing that on the off chance Miracleman's watching this. But I got this. This is from the new DC
trade.
The new DC Finest line. I love, so a lot of people are getting the whole thing. Again, I always feel people get every single thing that comes out. You know, you can if you want. If that's what you want to do, for sure, do it if you love it. But I would say don't get it just because, well, I want every DC Finest that they're printing, because they're going to print a lot of them and it's going to cost you a lot of money. And you won't, I don't think you're going to appreciate every one of them. But this one, I really appreciate because I love this age of Superman. I love the side stories with Jimmy Olsen and Lois Lane, actually even more than the Superman stories, to be honest with you, because they're in some ways sillier. And also you're going to get one of my favorite artists. I don't know if I'll pull it open to a page with him, Kurt Schaffenberger. He does a lot of the Lois Lane stuff in the early on. Yeah, I'll get it. Kurt Schaffenberger. I'll just show you some of his art. For whatever reason, I love Kurt Schaffenberger so much. He did Shazam in the DC line. What else? Another big one he did. Yeah, Lois Lane's a big one he did. I'm sure I'm missing out on some of the ones he did. But Lois Lane, he did it for a long time. I just love his clean lines. I love the purity of his art. It's just, to me, perfection. He doesn't draw a bad panel. He was like a real workman, but also it's a style that I really like. So yeah, this book is full of that, full of silly Jimmy Olsen goodness. I also actually just read, as another little plug, Who Killed Jimmy Olsen by Matt Fraction and Steve Lieber, I think, did the art on it. Another one most people out there might know about, but if you don't, there's a deluxe copy coming out this year. But that was one of my favorite graphic novels of the past 10 years. Good humor, silliness, but again, it speaks to, they really captured the fun of the Jimmy Olsen and the Lois Lane era. So yeah, that was a graphic novel. Then I had to pick up, I saw this. I mean, I'm never going to have $1 million, but if I can read about a little boy who has $1 million, I feel closer to $1 million. This was back when $1 million meant a little bit more than nowadays. Nowadays, $1 million won't even buy off the president, really. So yeah, that's all that is. I got some spirits. So I always, if I can pick up an original Will Eisner, I guess there's that Will Eisner biography coming out on Free Comic Book Day that I was looking over when Rob showed it. So some Old Spirit. I guess is it Kitchen? Yeah, Kitchen Sink published these. Whenever I can get my hand on one of them, I love it. What's in the Tamagotchi book? Stop asking about the Tamagotchi.
I can open it.
Yeah, open it. Okay, there's a lot of Tamagotchi fans. I did not even realize it. Love this cover. I always like black covers. They're harder to preserve. So I got some of those. And I got a random one, just a cheap one. This was just like in the dollar bin. A reprint of Thor. I guess Thor died. Poor Thor. Got my hands on one of these. Not too bad a price, so I picked it up. I love the Bill Sezowicz cover. I got to try and pronounce that. It's funny to me that he did this cover. It's a beautiful cover. I mean, again, if we talk about collecting just for cover, it's a beautiful cover. I didn't love the series as much, I guess, as other people did. I love the G.I. Joe that was coming out at the time.
Well, actually, I was just going to ask you about that because I don't know anybody that watches YouTube, but whatever show I'm watching, doesn't matter what it is, comic book show related or fucking archaeology related, they're showing me trailers to the Kickstarter of Transformers the Omnibus. And there's 2 huge omnibuy that are $150 where I'm going, should I? Because it looks like they're including some of the UK stuff in it, including the first appearance of Death's Head, the Ultra Magnus stuff. Well, that looks cool, but $150 is a lot of money.
Yeah, I guess what I would say is so the G.I. Joe came out with a compendium too. So they had the Kickstarter, and the Kickstarter was hardcover. It had gold leaf edging on the pages, but it was a lot of money. You had to buy all 3 volumes. After shipping, and when I transformed it into Canadian, it was around $600 for all 3. It was a lot of money. And also, I personally don't like the series much past 75. It started deteriorating for me. Again, other people can love it. So I was like, do I really want 3 volumes? I mean, it's great if you want every single issue. But what they did then is did a soft cover version. You get it on Amazon, up here, Chapters, Barnes and Nobles down there. And it only cost me 53 Canadian on discount. So that's what, $40 American. So if I got all 3 of them, 120. So that's a big discount from that. So I guess what I'd say for the Kickstarter, if you really want exclusive things and you really love it and it's the best stories you've ever read, sure, kick in the extra thing. But if you want it on the cheap, you can still get it on the cheap. They're going to come out with the softback version. I already know the compendiums are coming out for Transformers. They've got volume 1 out. Volume 2 is already scheduled to be printed. So I guess what I'd say to just kind of more milder fans, you can get the cheaper version on Amazon. And I would recommend that, I guess. Yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. So yeah, I'd wait on it unless you really want exclusive stuff, and you want it on your shelf. But Rob,
I might get a bookmark or a pen.
And if
what you mean? Shit, I'm gonna lose?
Yeah. I mean, I people are different animals. Some people want the exclusive from the Kickstarter. I really just want the stories. So for me, the more mass printing of the compendiums was the way to go, because it was if I did the math, probably 1/3 the price if I wanted it. Also, like I said, I really only wanted the first compendium. So I actually saved a lot more than that because I bought the first compendium. I'm out of there and I'm not forced to buy 2 compendiums that I probably won't read or enjoy as much. So yeah, again, if you really want it and that's what you wanted. But I saw a lot of people, not a lot of people, but some people go in for the Kickstarter and then 1 week after they bought it already have buyer's regret, and we're putting it up for sale on Facebook. And yeah, they kind of bought into it. It's I've got to have it. It's exclusive. I've got to get it. And then they realize oh, well, that was a lot of money and I really don't love it that much. So yeah, again, think about what speaks to you. What's your budget, what you really want. But there's sometimes a cheaper alternative that you can.
I mean, $150 isn't that much, but then again, I remember a few months ago we had a buddy of mine on that was putting out these. It wasn't EC, but it was the pre-code horror, and it was going to be an original, exact to the page quality of those old horror comics, and as a compendium. And I did the one where it was the Frightening 15. And it's almost half a year in and we're still waiting for it. Now, some people have tried ordering all the books where that would have cost them upwards of about $1,200. And I could imagine if you're still waiting up this long, yeah, that might be a little off-putting. But $150, that's not too bad. Yeah. Once we're talking $1,000, hey, whoa.
Yeah. And, and you're saying it also, Rob, a lot of people have tales of woe about Kickstarters that never got off the ground, never got their money back. Yeah. Like, only put the money in that you're safe with, and also know there's a risk to these things. We can hate Amazon, we can hate like the big box stores. There's some insurance that comes with them. That's the good thing about that. If something gets canceled, you can get your money back. Kickstarters, yeah, it's a little bit more of a scare story. So yeah, I would always recommend people be careful. If it's getting up there in cost, like, yeah, that's going to be a stress on you. If you lose $1,000 and you don't get anything for it, that's a stress for you. Nobody can throw away $1,000 like that.
Yeah, I'm not trying to knock them or anything. I'm just over here going, yeah, it's been quite some time.
Yeah.
So is it coming out, or did I just throw away money?
Yeah. Well, and the same for Dreadstar. They came out with it and they did publish it, so people got their thing. But again, it was a reasonable price too. But it was 3 things, hardcover. Did I want them all? And again, I've waited, and they've come out. They're actually, I don't know, they might not come out, but they're soliciting it, and it's come out for a lot cheaper price than waiting 2 years, and you can get it for a cheaper price. So some of these big runs, especially Transformers, G.I. Joe, Dreadstar, these are properties that, if you wait and you're patient, that's most likely going to be reprinted in some form, maybe a cheaper form later on. But again,
everything always comes back around.
Yeah.
Real quick, is it okay if I show that Tamagotchi?
Yeah.
I don't know if we still have
who was begging for it
about that. Was that Dex, or was that? I can't find it, but I'll figure it out. So here we go. Here is Tamagotchi.
I'm not a Tamagotchi. Don't Tamagotchi me.
This is a Tamagotchi now.
I'm not a Tamagotchi.
So this is what you're getting if you're trying to get the Tamagotchi book tomorrow. So this is the first time that I have opened it myself, because a lot of times I get these books, I bag them, I board them, and then I read them online.
Is that Neil Adams?
Yeah, this is Neil Adams just trying to collect a paycheck. It's kind of like whenever I hear Harrison Ford going, so why did you do this movie? Did the character of Han Solo speak to you? I like the money, kid. The money was real nice. So which is your favorite Star Wars movie? The one that bought my mom her house. So yeah, this is for children. I mean, we're not seeing any like giant monsters trying to disembowel some children, like in James Tinian IV's Something's Killing the Children. There's no Freddy Krueger. There's no titties, nothing like that. It's just for children. But it's pretty. It's colorful. I mean, my autistic brain is looking at this and going, yeah, this is making my mind pop.
So Tamagotchi, really like I didn't know people were still doing this. Is this like, I thought this was like 30 years ago, wasn't it? No?
Yeah, but at the same time, we also saw that, I don't know, what was that software platform that we used to download all the music from back in the 90s? That thing just went for like $100 million. Okay. Like, wait a second, is it the 90s again? Yeah, so there you go. There's Tamagotchi. There's one of the books that you can get for Free Comic Book Day tomorrow if you go to your shop, or call ahead and just make sure that they're participating. But if they're not picking up the phone, chances are they're extremely busy, because, free brings in the unwashed masses to go, I want my free stuff. What do you mean you don't have that? What do you mean you sold out? Don't act like an entitled asshole. Look, the comic shop owner, much like myself, I don't remember 90% of the people I meet. Why? Because I meet like between 500 to 1,000 people every week where I'm hearing their name. And then 2 weeks later, fuck all if I remember anybody. And then 2 months later, hey, Mr. Worst, do you remember me? No. But if you group were a pain in my ass, I absolutely remember you, because there's a line from Rick and Morty that goes, I remember people by the levels of pains in the ass in which they give me. So if you're a pain in the ass to that comic shop owner or their staff, chances are they're not going to remember anybody else in that shop, but they'll remember you. So don't do that.
No.
Realize they've had a long day and they're more or less going to be like Randall from Clerks, just waiting to tear into you. So don't do that.
Yeah. And do you, but I would say always it's a good time to pick up some comics you'd like to pick out, and also maybe try, buy some new ones from the new comic book rack while you're getting the free comics too. That's why I wanted Rob to say what the best comics to pick up this week, so I know the new comics I should be picking up.
And the best ones to pick up are going to be anything put out by Marvel and DC. Of course, there's the Mark Spears Monsters #0. I'm not going to try and share the screen again because it just booted my ass right out of the StreamYard. But if it speaks to you, chances are it'll be worth it. You're not going to have to pay much for these, other than maybe for a bag and board, maybe from some places, or that they'll go, hey, you can get anything, just buy something first.
Yeah.
Because comic shop owners, they have to pay something. We don't exactly know how much. It depends how much they order, but this stuff isn't free to them. Exactly. So we're trying to bring in customers so that they go, hey, I used to like collecting comics when I was 10, when I was 15, when I was 25, but then I got a wife and now, well, she's not quite doing it for me as much anymore, because let's face it, after about a year, everything becomes normalized. And you want to get back into your hobbies. And, well, you walk into a comic book shop on Free Comic Book Day, and you might go, you know what? What's good? Ultimate Spider-Man. Anything that is absolute universe or ultimate universe that is current. And try some of the trades. Try buying something, because if you buy something and you like it, ask the comic book store owner if they do FOC, which is free final order cutoff, or if they allow subscriptions, so that way you can get your comics. And then you make sure the business stays open, because when all the comic book shops go away and there's not any more left, well, guess what? Our hobby starts dying, and that first appearance of whatever it is slowly starts going down instead of up, because there's nowhere to get it. Sure, it's rare, but if no one gives a shit, well, that's just where it is. That's reality.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I picked up a run. I know there's a graphic novel of this, but I can't get my hands on it, so I got the original version. So it's 12. It's by Joe Michael Straczynski, and that's a weird first cover act that it has. Have
you read all of it yet?
Yeah, I did.
Read it way back when. I think it was like the last 2 issues took forever to release.
That was the problem with it. It's just like, was it him or was it no, it was him, I think, because he started writing movies and he got an Oscar for The Changeling. And so
there were a few things he was doing. Anytime I saw J. Michael Straczynski writing a book in the early 2000s, I knew it was never going to end. Like, hey, Superman is going to walk the earth like Kane from Kung Fu, and he stops halfway through.
But we were lucky he did actually come back and finish writing this. And overall, I think it's a good story, like definitely a good story. It feels a little bit like Watchmen, because it's basically revisiting old heroes. Heroes were in suspended animation that come back. But I like the art. I like the fact that they're kind of bringing back heroes with pulp fiction appeal. I think there actually were originally pulp fiction, like Golden Age heroes. They're based on Golden Age heroes, but they kind of redid their origins a little bit and kind of re-looked at them. One guy came from the center of the earth, and they were saying, does he really come from the center of the earth? So it's kind of questioning that. It's got a bit of a mystery, who's killing people, and it gets resolved, I feel, nicely. So yeah, it was sad that it came out so disjointedly, so it lost a lot of buyers at the time, but yeah, that's the last issue, I think. Yeah, but it's a good run. J. Michael Straczynski, yeah, he's a really good writer. He's a solid writer. He's never my number one writer, because I do feel he kind of peters off. Like, he has these great ideas sometimes, and they don't always kind of follow through. And sometimes he does lose interest in them. But that's my
like right now he's putting out these, which is the anything versus Dr. Doom or something. They're just one shots he's doing because, hey, you can't just decide to give up in the middle of a run on a one shot.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and the one collection I love by him the most is The Brave and the Bold. Actually, I think I'm 90% sure it's called Brave and the Bold.
Yeah. That was a great run.
It's a great run, and it was one shots, and it was, again, it could really highlight his writing. You know, he was really influenced by Rod Sterling from the Twilight Zone. He just loved him to death, and you can really see he knows how to craft that one act story, and it's got a beginning, it's got a middle and end, and those one shots are really good because you don't have to like cross your fingers. I hope this pays off. I hope this makes it to the end of it. I hope he doesn't lose interest halfway through and go on to something else. So yeah, I really like the Brave and the Bold run. There's some really good kind of one shot issues. And some really great artists as well.
You want to know something a little bit embarrassing? What? So I remembered reading Amazing Spider-Man really around the time when the Clone Saga started, and then I just gave up and went to Vertigo and read nothing but that until Joe Quesada started running Marvel. So it was J. Michael Straczynski writing Amazing Spider-Man Volume 2, Issue 30, and it was that issue that I picked up and went, hey, this is pretty good. Then the 9/11 issue, hey, this is really good, except for Dr. Doom crying. That was fucking weird.
I know, I agree. I've tried to blow up the world 5 times, but this one tower is really upsetting to me. Like that's.
I really liked that one tower. It reminded me of when I didn't have a scarred face. I mean, what was going? I don't know. Aside this point,
I agree.
He had a great run, but in the middle of that great run was one of the worst runs of all time in Marvel, which was, hey, did you know that Spider-Man once, when Gwen Stacy went off to Europe, was pounding it with Norman Osborn? You know what she did? She pumped out 2 kids. Wait, what?
Oh, it was so jarring because you're right. It like, and I don't think John Romano Jr. had left by that time, because I love the John Romano Jr. issues at the beginning. Really cool, Ezekiel and all that stuff. Even though it's a little bit of mysticism, it's okay. I was okay with it. Comics are always twisty and turny, but you're right. Those ones, it's just so It's Sins of the Past, I think it's called.
That's the one. That's the one.
Like, it's a horrible retcon. Horrible. We talk about retcons. That's a horrible one. You know, Bucky coming back to life. I'm okay with that retcon because it worked and they pulled it off wonderfully. That retcon was so bad. It was also just a bad story. So if you're gonna do that much of a retcon and twist it that much, you better give me a great story like that. I can go, I'll forgive the retcon. But it was such a weak story. The story was basically Norman Osborn had turned those kids on Spider-Man, and that's why they were attacking Spider-Man. And then the resolution was kind of, finally he convinced them, come on guys, I'm not your villain. Oh, okay, you're right, we were wrong. Like, it's just such a weak ending. It was just like, yeah.
So, well, we'll just fuck off and live our own lives, live the best lives that we can until some other writer decides to go, hey, I have another gripe.
Yeah, that was, again, if you're going to change history that much, like Bucky's a great example of that. Like, no, Bucky's dead, but they brought him back. But it was such a wonderful story and well crafted. You know what? I'm totally okay with that retcon because you crafted a wonderful story out of it. When you retcon Gwen Stacy and make her into a little bit more promiscuous than she was, and it was just an icky story. It was just icky all the way from beginning to end. There was nothing nice about that story. This is going to be, just so you know, fans of Mike Grell, and I'm a huge fan of Mike Grell. So it's been hard. I don't even know in color if Warlord was ever reprinted. You had the showcase from DC, if you remember those telephone books in black and white, great way to get the stories, but they were in black and white. Well, they're finally doing an omnibus coming out this year. So if you're a Warlord fan, order it off whatever site you want to, get it from your local comic shop if you want to too. But yeah, that's coming out this year, and that just dropped. It's not going to be out for a few months, but you can start ordering it right now. So yeah, I'm really happy because I love Mike Grell. I'm still waiting for the Legion of Superhero Mike Grell issues to be reprinted in a more affordable format. So we'll see if that comes. Now, we talked about rare comics. I'd be surprised. X-Men #1. Does anybody have this comic?
Man, I thought everyone threw those away. I thought that was used for kindling at bonfires at the local college.
Well, this just jumped up in price from $1 to $2. That's 100%.
It's still my heart. I even heard that they ran out of stock at the distributor level and they had to reprint the motherfuckers.
Oh, they ran out of trees to print this on. They printed so many copies. So anyways, yeah, I picked up a few cheap copies of it. So yeah, that's my trip to the comic store this week. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Free Comic Book Day 2 and gonna pick up some titles that I haven't picked up normally, treat myself and see something new, bring my daughter to the comic shop. She wants manga. To pick up some things too. So yeah, that's exciting.
She wants manga.
You know what she really wants, Rob? Something called
Emily
Wii.
Strange?
No, something called Wii. Have you ever heard of a Wii?
Like WE3?
No, like the control. Oh yeah, Wii 3 would be good. I'd be so proud of her if she liked Wii 3.
Yeah, get her Wii 3 and just go, this is the cutest story ever. You're going to love it. And then when she reads it and she's just bawling her eyes out, just go like, I'm so sorry, but that's what life is like.
No, she wants, it's an old video game console from, I don't know, 100 years ago. But anyways, she, for some reason, saw a YouTube video of it and says, Dad, I want it so I can work out more. Or you could just go outside and play.
Like, how about you just go outside and you envision you're playing a video game and you just get what our ancestors called exercise.
Yeah. Instead of playing virtual tennis, maybe play tennis. Is that crazy?
But I don't know how to play. It's okay. Most people don't. Go and make mistakes until you get better, like everybody else.
Anyways, she's trying to wear me down. I think I'm going to be strong and say no, but she knows that this comic shop does sell old consoles.
Sharon?
Oh, you still play the Wii? But are they going to make a new Wii? I'm lying to her, Life with Two YouTubers. I'm saying that they're going to come out with a new Wii eventually. So let's just wait. Do you think?
So Life with Two YouTubers was one of the first people we had on our show way back when we first started. It was that episode that she was on because her daughter was putting out a book and we had her on. It was the first episode that we had Lady Fantastic on the show. And that's when she joined the show.
Whoa.
So always good to see her. And guess what? I'm old and retro too, because I went to Cracker Barrel last weekend and I saw this old Atari 2600 for $129. And I'm going, I'm broke, but I want that. I'm coming back for that. Yar's Revenge? Yes, please.
Oh my God. There's a game Adventure. Anybody who's ever played the old Atari knows Adventure. It was one of the first game. It's so hard to explain Adventure. Like, yeah, you're a square. You're a little square. There was the gold castle, the white castle. I don't even remember. There was 3 castles. Anyways, and there was the dragon that would pick you up and fly you around. Anyways, it's so fun to think back what we thought was exciting at the time. Like our kids, like it's the disgust in their eyes when they see the graphics of our old video games. It's sad to see, but yeah. I mean, now it's like movie quality. You are playing a movie. Dust Till Dawn is a movie that's come out this week. My daughter was playing the video game version and I'm watching her play it. It's like she's playing a movie. I mean, I'm glad that they have that quality, but they can't appreciate the original Space Invaders or Adventure that we used to play. Oh, Pitfall was great too. Oh my God. Like, I mean, if I can wax poetically, they were so bad games, but it was so hard, some of those games, just to make the level. So we'd play it over and over and over. Just to make the next level.
There was like Kung Fu where you just had 2 buttons where you kick or punch and people are coming at you on both sides. So it's turn one way, turn the other way, turn one way.
No, you play so long, but nowadays it's just respawn. Like, yeah, they don't know the frustration that we used to experience in our games, like that playing 5 hours just to get past one level. Now it's just like, yeah, just respawn or look on YouTube for the way to cheat around it. So
there was no YouTube back then. Oh, just to answer Life with Two YouTubers. So right now we have the people that we have on our show right now. We have Lady Fantastic. She is a scientist in America under Elon fucking Musk. So she doesn't have great hope going into life right now. So I understand that. Sometimes she's on, sometimes she's not. Right now she's playing a video game because most times at the end of the week she needs to decompress. But whenever she's on, we love having her. But as a scientist in America right now, things are really fucking bleak. I'm going to get political for a second. Fuck the government and anybody that's in charge right now, because nobody's standing up to these people and they're just cutting services left and right. Why are we paying taxes? Meanwhile, Miracleman, he is setting up for tomorrow, which is Free Comic Book Day. You see that scroll at the bottom. And yes, she is the smartest, most beautiful scientist on the planet. I love her dearly, and I hate what is going on right now for her. And it's just one of those things that she's enduring. She is brilliant. She's been around for a while, but things are not easy for anybody in the STEM community right now. Miracleman is setting up for Free Comic Book Day tomorrow, and Ian, Tacoma Comics, he is playing a game of poker, so sometimes he's on, sometimes he's not. Really, this show is just for the community to go, hey, look at the comics I bought. It's show and tell. It's like we're 5 years old again, but middle old age because we're old. But yeah, that's our show, and let's just a couple extra things I just wanted to throw out there. So we just had this bit of news come out in the last hour or so that now that Diamond Distribution was having a whole big legal battle with Alliance that got blown up because they didn't disclose the fact that Wizards of the Coast, they fucked off, and they didn't bother saying that in the disclosure documents. So they went, yeah, we're buying this great big company. We're going to get to make our money back. And they lost one of the biggest accounts and they didn't disclose that. Oh, wow. We were shocked. And if you're in a lawsuit, anything that is in your phone as a text, any email that you've sent as a business can all be discoverable in a lawsuit. And that's what happened. And they discovered that they knew this well in advance. So that all blew up. And now it looks like Ad Populum has won the bid for the bankrupt Diamond Distribution. So stay tuned. Things are obviously changing in the market, and they constantly will, but we just want to make sure that this hobby that we love continues. And the last portion here, Thunderbolts arrives to theaters this weekend, so go see it because it has got 89% positive from critics, 95% positive on Rotten Tomatoes by people like you and me out there. Not critics, the ones that are paid to do this, people that just like going to movies and went, Marvel's back. I mean, they're mid again. But now we know what that star means, and there's 4 people watching. So I'm just going to say this. I know what it is. So if you want that bit of spec, I'm going to say that spec right now. So I'm going to go 5, 4. You have 4 seconds to mute. Otherwise, I'm going to tell you what that star means. And, this is the after credit sequence. 3, 2, 1. Okay, the star in Thunderbolt stands for, these are the new Avengers. There's a new logo and everything. But are they the new Avengers? To find out, go watch the movie this weekend. And that's the spoilers. Spoilers clear. You can unmute now. We're all good. So it's been a good movie. It's something to go watch. But as we were talking at the beginning of the show, there's a movie out right now by Ryan Coogler. It's called Sinners. It has 95% positive, 96 by people like you and me. It is probably going to be up for Oscars. It is the movie that Ryan Coogler made after he did all these Marvel movies, so he can work with a large budget, a large cast. And from all the reviewers, all the people like you and me, they're saying this movie's fantastic. It's a vampire flick in the 1930s, so just be aware that it's a vampire flick.
Oh,
but is there anything?
The only other thing I want to say about Sinners, there is, it's not an after credits scene because it's basically, it goes from the movie, but they're rolling the credits, and then there's a big scene after. So when the credits start rolling, do not leave. It's a key scene for the movie. It kind of ties up the movie. So again, people probably heard about it, but if you didn't know, I saw a lot of people leaving my movie theater and I was trying to stop them. But yeah, if you go see it, make sure you wait till that final scene. So yeah, because it's key. It's a necessary part of the movie. So that's my little.
I would not have known that had you not have told us.
Yeah, for sure. Stay around.
So this has been our show tonight. I thank you all for joining. Next week is going to be hopefully a little different. Hopefully we'll have more people back and it won't be, hey, everybody has stuff to do, right? Like immediately there's no time for the show, because even when there's no time, I will jump on, even if I only do this for 20 or 30 minutes with the top 10. check us out. Otherwise, we will be back next week for our Old Comic Book Day review on May the 9th, 2025. Thank you all for joining us. And more than anything, Life with YouTubers. Sharon, thank you so much. Tell Rena I said hi. Tell the whole family I said hi. I'm sure that that Blockabout is killing it on YouTube right now, whereas us, we're at 917 subscribers. We're a huge, tiny channel. We're just a small channel. We have a lot of comics, but we're a tiny channel. But silly vampire cartoon reference. Good to see you. Bye. Will do. Okay, that has been our show tonight. Thank you all for watching. We will be back next week. But until then, make sure that you go and check out this new free comic book day and let us know what you picked up. Tell us in the comments how it went. And in the comments for our top 10, 0 out of 10, 5 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Let us know how many of the top 10 you got. But we'll be back next week. Love y'all. Good night.
Thanks for tuning in. If you want to see this episode again, along with a catalog of back episodes and issues, surf on over to Not Near Mint on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe and hit that bell for notifications.